guys, Sean here. I wanted to give a product review on a frog I've been using pretty extensively recently. And it's the Booyah Pad Crasher. I've had great success with this frog over the last month. Caught a ton of fish, helped me get second place in a local kayak bass fishing tournament. And I've just been really impressed with it, so I thought I'd let the viewers know my opinions on the frog and kind of my experiences with it. Um, I've been using it quite a bit, so this is a thorough review, not so much about what it looks like and all the fancy stuff, but more about actual on water use, the time I put in, and my impressions of what it's supposed to do, and that's catch fish. The first one that I bought was their shad frog color. And this is in the normal size, and they come in two sizes. You have the normal pad crashers, 2.5 inches long, all right, and it's going to be a 1/2 ounce. And they have the junior size, which is 2 inches long, I believe, and comes in at a 1/4 ounce. So you can see here's the junior size, the black one, and the shad frog color is the normal size. I tend to use the standard size. And like I said before, I've had great luck with it. It's got your typical kind of spro, your typical body shape that you're used to. It has the keel and the belly. Similar. I don't have one in front of me to compare, but very similar to that, and a similar shape to the Strike King frog as well. It does not have a rattle. Which is okay. So a lot of the snag-proof frogs have rattles. There's times when I think a rattle helps, and other times when I think it's not so important. But no rattle. Comes in a variety of nice colors. You have your standard, your bullfrog, tree frog kind of colors, leopard frog. You've got like a brown cricket kind of color here, and they're popping frog. And of course, the black and yellow is always popular. They have white. Your standard colors. Initially, right off the bat, one thing that I found out, pretty quickly is the hookup ratio on this frog is outstanding. I'm a big snag-proof fan. I really like Ish's Fat Frog and the Poppin' Fatty and their Bobby's Perfect Frog. I think they have good hookup ratios. I think that the Booyah Pad Crasher is a step above that. Whatever reason is, and I think it has something to do with the soft body. It's got nice sharp hooks, and the profile of the bait is not too big. I'm just landing a lot more fish on this, and that's what you want to do. You want to catch fish. So A+ for hookup ratio on this frog. Talk about durability. Up close, you can see that I've caught a ton of fish on this, and the paint's starting to wear off. It's got teeth marks from the bass. You see on the underbelly, starting to get a little paint rub off here. The eyes are starting to wear off, and I've caught tons of fish with this over the last month. So you're starting to see a little bit of the durability issues, but for a $5 frog, I'm not going to complain. I'm still going to use this until it either rips, breaks, or won't float. So durability, I give it a B. Not as durable as the snag-proof frogs, but again, I'm only paying $5. I think at Tackle Warehouse it's 5 and some change. So as far as durability goes, I give it a B. But as far as price goes, I give it an A+. You're not going to find a frog in this price range that's going to perform as well as the snag-proof frogs, as the Booyah Pad Crasher. Excuse me. What I'm throwing this on, I'm throwing it on a 7.3 Lamb Glass XL frog rod, 65-pound braid, and I'm typically fishing heavy pads and pads interspersed with grass and pond muck, so no problems with hookup ratio. I do have a tendency in the thicker pads, or the pads that are extending a little bit up over the water level, with this keeled belly that a lot of the frogs have, the hollow belly frogs have, is it'll have a tendency to kind of roll over on its back sometimes. you know, that's just the nature of some of these frogs, but it hasn't been too much of an issue. As far as skirts go, it's got nice fine wire rubber skirts. I typically trim mine a little bit, especially if I'm fishing heavy muck, pond scum. Then there's no reason to have a long skirt. That skirt just gets caught up in that muck more. You'll see guys who fish Lake Gunnersville, and they have the Gunnersville frogs. They'll trim their skirts almost all the way up to the back of the frog. You know, when you're fishing that heavy muck, bass aren't keying in on those skirts. I don't even know if they can see the skirts through that. They can just see the silhouette and the shadow of that frog, the body of the frog. So I'll tend to trim them, you know, a couple inches. This one is, you know, more for open water, clear water conditions, sparser pads when I want that skirt to be more visible to the bass. They also come out with a popping frog. Again, another great design, very similar shape to their standard frog. Subtle differences though in the body. You'll see on this one a little more concave here where the black dots are. The popping frog, and especially this color, they stick out a little further. So do the eyes, and a little more concave here on top of the head. It's your standard cupped mouth you'll see on the other popping frogs. Does a great job of spitting, chugging. It walks just fine. I tend to use this if it's windy, stained water, when I really want to have a little bit more pronounced action and I want to be able to call those fish up a little deeper. I'll use the popping frog, but I didn't want to go on too long about it. It's an outstanding frog. I know a lot of you guys probably already own them or have seen a lot of reviews, but you know, as you can see by how this one looks all beat up and ripped and torn, you know, this thing flat out catches fish. I'm a huge, like I said, snag proof itchy fat frog fan. That was my favorite for the past couple of years, but I have to say the Booyah's taken over. Number one is just because it catches fish. The hookup ratio is great, and for $5 or $6, you can't beat it. You know, you're not paying $10, $15 for a frog. Durability is a little bit of a negative, but you know, if I'm catching 30 or 40 fish on it, and I'm paying $5 or $6 before it breaks, I'm okay with that. Haven't had any problems with it taking on water or any of the other standard problems you might see with some other frogs. So definitely an A+. If you haven't gotten one, I you know, definitely pick one up, give it a try. You know, like I said, you know, I tend to stick with you know, your shad pattern color. You know, clear, bright sunny skies, open water, and I'll go with the black on the dirty, dark, dingy days. And if I want to just kind of change it up a little bit, I'll throw the your standard frog color. The popping frog, you know, same thing. Something with a white belly or a black. You know, the top of the frog doesn't make a difference. They can't really see it anyway. So definitely try them out, pick them up. Great frog. You know, you can use it all through the summer and the early fall. So thanks for watching. Take care.